Hey, welcome to the Sea Fury build.
Hello.
Obviously, Marley and Mr. Evans are on their holidays this week, so it's just us two again.
Yes, me and thee again, mate.
Yeah,
Um,
we're the
so,
hardcore.
yeah. I do like that rocky music.
It's cool. I was
Music.
on the little
I was,
windows in the bottom. I was watching you doing that.
yeah, I was rock on.
That's off YouTube Studios,
All right, cool.
so you
Yeah,
can download them.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just another list of jobs I've got to do.
So, how have you been since yesterday?
Good, all is good. Yes, I've been busy ordering stuff for the Telford Models for Heroes face-to-face group.
Ooh.
Some promotional material.
Ew, getting all posh now.
Yes, and I said yesterday, before we went live, I said, "Oh, I've got to make some please do not touch the models notices."
Yes.
Because people touch models, kids touch models, and they get shouted at, and they don't
try
like
to pocket them as well.
And in the post this morning, straight from M4HQ, M4H HQ, with courtesy of Mr. Childs, he sent me. Oh, I'm over here now, aren't I? Please do not touch the models.
Hey.
So, nice one, Mr. Childs. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. Excellent.
So, yeah. So
he's good, isn't
he? Yeah.
Thing is, he must have sent them a few days before as well. To get there.
I'm sure. I know when he sent it. Yeah, because I had to work out how we were going to do the invoicing for the display stand thing that we've ordered. Yeah. Long story short, the lovely council at Telford and Wrekin gave us a grant, and I had to work out how I was going to purchase and do the paperwork and all that. It's all sorted now, and the said item is ordered. So.
Excellent.
Boring stuff. Let's crack on.
Yes, I've got to order my kit for the next build after this one.
I've still got to do the next 2 kits. I've got to order, but they're both.
Marion's not in.
she's down the community shop at the moment. No, I can get them both from King Kit. So
yeah,
that'd be a trouble. Is Marion has to take me to King Kit.
Yeah, I think Scale Model Shop was cheapest for one of them.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to say how much it was on here because people will figure it out, or maybe figure out. But anyway, on with the comments because we've got no modest today. She's off in Glasgow today.
Oh right, okay.
Apparently, she's been on a train looking at all the scenery on her way to Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Aye.
Right.
Steve Paul says, "Good morning, all. Looking forward to the build."
Excellent. Morning, Major.
Welcome back. Bob says, Bob has Beasts distribution soon. Yeah, I was just explaining that to Gary.
Bless you, Bob.
Have you ever thought of speaking to your doctor about changing your meds, Bob?
No, it's a good excuse to order stuff.
Yeah, but I do feel bad. He keeps sending us this stuff because he's ordered because of his medication. I've got to reiterate, we haven't asked him for anything. Okay, for anyone says anything, we haven't asked him for anything. He just donates them to the channel because he's ordered them. Friends of Models for Heroes is back in.
And they in again?
Yes. Yes. Steve says, 6th of June 1944, thank you to all those men and women who fought and died to preserve our way of life. Way back then, and to all those who have fought in foreign lands since to keep us all safe since. Yeah.
Do you know, I'm ashamed to say that it was only when Steve put that up that I realised what day it was.
How do you think I remember my wife's birthday? It's K Day.
K Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Good point there, Mr. Paul. Well done.
Yeah. And he says, well said, Major. Let's forget.
Yes.
Lest we forget. Not let's forget.
lest we forget, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh.
I misread it.
Oh, thank God for that. Wasn't me this time.
Bob says, indeed, memories need to be kept. Exactly. And I think that's why it's important to do like history and scan modeling and stuff. Especially as history tends to get twisted so much these days. And he says, needs to be kept alive. Sorry, hit enter too soon. We got you, buddy. We got you. GM says, ladies and gentlemen, Annyeong Haseyo. Hello, be well. Hello, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Bob says, Gary, what happens if somebody called Annyeong visits? Everyone goes, Annyeong, Annyeong. Gary says, run, kidding. Could try saying hello. Adit says, happy birthday, Auntie Kay. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Kaylee.
I've been forbidden from saying how old she is today.
So
on my Facebook page, I said, I've been forbidden from telling people how old she is. So I shall just give you this simple and completely unrelated maths problem. It's a 2-digit number that I'm thinking of. And the second number is the square of the first number. There we go.
Happy birthday, Kaylee.
Yes, happy birthday, darling. She got... We didn't go for a meal last night in the end.
All right.
She was too tired and she was worried about being sick. So we just went shopping and she got some clothes and some new trainers. And she bought me a coat as well. Because, well, what it is I've got hoodies and I've got a winter waterproof coat and a summer normal non-waterproof coat for when we go out. But the problem is, being in Wales, it can be quite often be warm and then raining. So I can't wear my waterproof coat because it's a winter one and I'll be too hot. And I can't wear my normal coat because it'll just get soaked through. So she's bought me a lightweight waterproof coat.
Bless her.
Yeah, she's good like that. Did says, we'll have to go out after the show. Ashes of Hermione await. Oh yeah, the cat. Matthew says, hello, everyone. Hello, Matthew. Gary says, Hagrid, one of the K-pop boy groups, have a song of the same name. What's it about? Some sci-fi thing. David says, hello all and happy birthday to Kaylee.
David.
Happy birthday to Kaylee and hello, David. That's what I was trying to say. You all right?
Yeah, I burped.
All right.
Why go there?
You're not having a heart attack, are you? God. I haven't got Mario's number.
Got to have a heart to do that.
I'd have to ring Kerry Ann on Facebook.
Won't get her. She's at Tots today, so.
Dee says, you can send me the link via Discord. Curious, no, Gary. Dave says, got to pop misses to Estrad. Shortly, we'll be back. All right, buddy. Joe says, good morning, afternoon, and evening.
Hello, Joe.
Morning, Joe. No, afternoon, Joe. Gary says, Hagrid, sorry, my friend, not on Discord yet. Don't know how to find or hook up. If I look through the listing, I'll pass on what to look for on YouTube. If Modders was here, she could put the link into Discord. Julian could put the link into Discord. Julian is a moderator.
Is Julian here?
Yeah, he's in.
Oh, I know. I chatted to him briefly this morning.
I'll send Julian a link in a minute once I'm done in the chat, and he can put it in the chat. You can put it in the chat for me. Bob says, deja vu from yesterday. Yes.
Yeah.
Joe says, good morning to our fabulous hosts, Mikey and Gary. Well, hello there, Joe.
Hello.
Ian says, good afternoon. I was told as a child, look with your eyes, not with your hands. Yeah. Unfortunately, kids don't seem to get told that today.
At the VE Day celebration event we attended, Colin, one of our group ex-policemen, he does some wonderful armored fighting vehicle models. He does the exploded views, where you have them like that, the cutouts and all that. They're absolutely amazing. Some little kid run up and picked up the turret like they do, and Colin just reverted back to policeman mode, and he bellowed, "Don't touch the morals!" This poor little kid nearly crapped himself.
Well, we did like a little show in town at Christmas a couple of years ago, and one of the kids tried to put one of my models in the pocket, and Martin Moyes' missus went, "Oi, put that bloody back, you little thief!" And his dad turned around and went, like, "I'm gonna belt you when I get your own boy." You're making me look bad.
Bless them.
Yeah. Bob says, so tempted to say print warnings on pendulum axis, but I won't. Colin Norris says, good morning, all. Gary, I'm back on the rigging, mate.
Hello, that's Colin. That is Colin himself. That is Chief Constable Colin.
Ah, hello, sir.
He's doing one of his floaty things that I don't like. How many meters of rigging have you done on that ship so far, Colin?
Not nearly enough, because he hasn't finished yet. Gary says, got a family pack of Tim Tams on standby. Delicious. Man. Julian says, morning, Mikey and Gary.
Morning, Julian, mate.
And morning, all in chat. Hello, Julian. Jim says, happy birthday to Kaylee. Happy birthday, Kaylee. I don't know what she's doing. She's just taking some anti-sickness tablets, so she might be sleeping now. I'm not sure. Jim says, hello to all in chat on this day of days. Yes, the longest day. Gary says, the lady is over 21. Leave it there.
Yes.
I will say she's older than me. Jim says, greetings to all the usual suspects in chat. Oh, I just heard her shouting piss off. So she's obviously watching them. Jim says,
watching.
Jim says, hello to our gracious host. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
She just said, you're dead, Michael. Thank you, darling. Love you too. Aaronville says, hello, just now had a chance to pop in. Got builders in. What are you both up to? We're going to be building the Sea Fury, mate. We're working on that. Catching up with John and Gary whilst they're on holiday.
I seem to have done something wrong already.
Oh. Junior says, I recall a few years ago, somebody posted a photo of soccer players who had been called heroes. There's a second photo of the men storming the Normandy beaches saying, no, these are heroes. Yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
And I've noticed, certainly over the last 5 years since a certain world event happened, a lot of celebrities have sort of fallen from that mantle now. People don't regard them in the same way.
Yeah.
Which is good. Skiffin says, morning, you two. Is this interview Mark 2 today? No, sir.
No, that's done and dusted. Shelved.
Yes.
Hidden away in the annals of Bearded Veteran Creates.
Yeah. Deed says, a gentleman never asks a lady her age since they are timeless and age is just a number.
Yeah.
I'm saying nothing. Junior says, sorry, link from what? I was typing and being male. I can't multitask. I'll send you the link for the Discord in a minute. Deed says, Discord, Gary Markham, so we can join the BBC channel. Yeah. Well, for anyone. If anyone wants to join it, they can do, as long as they're not arseholes. Dieter says, a year ago, I finished USS Texas BB-35. Just in time for 80th anniversary, Texas was one of the oldest battle wagons participating, so we even had a tilt herself to reach the highest targets. And he says, got enough kits to come with invasion stripes to fill a year. Very good. And Colin says 42 meters, only a tenth of the way done.
Yeah, 42 meters of rigging.
What the hell? What the hell size model are you building?
It's massive. It's massive. Beautiful what he's done.
Yeah. Sorry, Kay's just asked me to check how many of the tablets she can make. There you go. Yeah. It must be huge, that ship.
But it's a stunning piece of work.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, he's lost his marbles. June says, when my niece was little, she tended to fiddle. So when she said she was looking at something, my brother asked, with your eyes? And sometimes, unbidden, she said, I'm just looking with my eyes, Daddy. Dieter says, Jesus, Colin, what ship is it? You need to rig up close to a mile. Bob says, at the risk of being unpopular, according to my calculations, there will be 2 spare strand beasts. Bombard Magic Mikey with requests. It is very kind of you, buddy. And I do feel a little bit guilty sometimes, but it is very kind of you. Maybe if you want to, Bob, we could give away as part of the competition prizes. If you want to do that, it's up to you. Skiffin says, a-hole, but you let me join. Yes. Of course we let you join, Skiffers. It's the fact that as long as you don't show your a-hole again, that's fine.
There's a story there.
Yes. Dieter says, I'll never call a sportsman, artist, or actor the like a hero. They are idols. A hero is who puts his life on the line, so you do not have to, and deserves at least respect for that. Yeah. See, for me, it's someone who... It's like the definition of courage, isn't it? It's not the absence of fear, it's doing something despite fear. Because what you're doing is more important.
And
I think a hero is someone that does that knowingly, chooses to put others before themselves. Not someone who kicks a ball around so that they can get lots of money.
Absolutely.
Dee says, one of the reasons I support M4H and the like. Yeah. Dee says, Skiffins, I will do my membership of Friends of Models for Heroes ASAP whilst at it. That'd be Gary and me that you need to speak to about that, because we are on the committee.
Yeah.
Although John Mayfield is the secretary.
Yes.
He is the one that wears the skirt in this.
Yeah. I handed over the skirt to Mr. Mayfield.
Jim says, Skippins posted 2 images related to current and recent modelling projects on your Discord, James.
How's a Cargi going, James?
June says, some are idle, some are just idle.
Yeah. There you go.
Colin says, a Spanish galleon, 1.4 meters long and 1.1 meters tall. Wow.
Yeah, it's stunning. Really is stunning.
You'll have to show me pictures of that, Gary.
Yeah, next time I go around to see Colin in his man cave.
It sounds like a mansion cave.
It's a log cabin in his garden.
That is brilliant. I love it.
And it's so organised.
I like it. I like the sound of it already.
So organised. Everything's in its place. And then you look at this hobbit hole that is my...
At the minute, I've got a 2-meter plank of wood stood up in the middle of my room because I bought the only plank of wood I could get that was the right thickness and weight that I wanted and stuff, and the right price was a 3.3 meter length of wood.
Yeah.
Plank. So I cut it down. So this weekend I'm going to cut it all right to the right sizes and make it into shelves. So that I've got somewhere to put models, because I've got a metal rack here, but it's just full of dioramas. One shelf has just got like 6 dioramas on and it's full.
Yeah.
So I can put the dioramas up on these new shelves, and then I could put all my models on them.
Yeah. With regards to the Sea Fury build,
yes,
I've done a Marley this morning. I've just corrected it.
Yeah.
I put these parts here.
Yeah. Let's just see.
They go in. They're supposed to go in one way.
Yeah.
I managed to put them in the other way. So when I tried to dry fit this part to this part,
yeah,
it wouldn't like the little
lugs.
lugs wouldn't line up. The exhausts or whatever they are there, you can just see them poking out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't line up with the gap, but that was because they were the wrong way round. Now I've just corrected that, and yea, verily, it doth fit.
Excellent. Well, once I've done the chat and sent this link to Julian, I can crack on with mine.
Yeah.
Bob says, it's highly up to you. I'm somewhat surprised that they came boxed, because last time I got some boxes double the price and cheap ones were in flimsy poly bags. Yeah, if you want to do that, mate, then we'll do that. Yeah, because by the time Gary gets back, I'll be back in time. So yeah, that'll work. Skiffin says, thanks, Jim. I saw it a moment ago. Thank you. Julian, when I was a celebrity was someone with a skill or talent worthy of respect and emulation. Now it's anyone who has had a camera or a microphone shoved at them. I'm saying nothing. Because a lot of them have been made into so-called celebrities by doing what we're doing, just not as engaging, just doing random crap, which is kind of what we do, actually. Skiffin says, Gary, so roof structure is 70% done. Fish plates and rivets to be added. Main base or first lay has the deck plating on. Rivet heads to be added. Run out strips, so been shopping this morning.
Yeah, for those that don't know, this is James's recovery build he's talking about. James had heart surgery a year ago.
Yeah.
And he started doing the Akagi flight deck with which is in 1/35th scale, together with a 1/35th zero, I believe it is. However, being James, he doesn't stop there. He's actually doing the decks below the flight deck as well, with another zero in there as well. So it's going to be a massive project for him.
Do you reckon he's going to bring it to Telford next year? Because that'd be cool to see.
If it's finished by next year. We were talking on Tuesday, I think it was. I was talking to James, and there is no time limit on it. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
But as I was saying to James, you've got models within a model there. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's going to be stunning when it's finished. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing how that transpires.
Excellent. Ooh, that one. Julian says, Gary, your man cave is not a hobbit hole. The door is square. The round holes were made by a drill.
I've got a square drill, didn't you know?
Dieter says, yep, they are part of the Sea Fury engine exhausts. Skiffer says, pictures will be added to the forum page in Sprue Station Discord. There we go. Diet says, Colin, damn those Dons and their Spanish rigging. Bob says, beware, some of the boxes have not survived Oriental transport very well. It's fine, buddy. It's fine, don't worry. Dieter says, can I wait to see your progress? Skiffins, good luck. Skipper says, yes, it will be at Telford this year and next. Excellent.
Oh. Yeah, probably with James working on it at Telford.
Yeah. Just don't let Marley near it. He'll go back. He'll put someone on backwards. Skipping says, all will be finished on Thursday. Which Thursday? I cannot yet confirm. Kaylee says, sorry, I'm starting to fall asleep. It's all right, darling. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Try not to fall asleep on the sofa because you'll end up with a sore neck and back again. Because Kaylee doesn't recline the sofa, even though we spent all that money buying recliners. Julian says, Mikey, that's not including YouTube creators, obviously. You do have a skill worthy of emulation anyway. You're model making. My point is the famous for being famous idiots with no other talent. Yeah, thank you.
So
he's saying we've got talent.
There you go, Steve. For Steve Paul, I'm doing the bit of the engine with the AK pen. I haven't forgotten. Next week when we're at St George's, I'll bring some AK pens along. You can have a look at them.
Deed says Telford 2027. I hope to bring one Dio along. Yeah, that'd be good. Deed says I'm so going to be making this hard on myself. It says happy birthday, Kaylee. And Skiffin says once finished, it'll go on the European show also, but happy to take it to Japan too if invited. As long as they pay for the travel.
I'd like a second-class return to Tokyo, please.
Sorry, did you say second? This is Skiffin's. He has business class only, don't you know? Kaylee says thank you for all the birthday wishes. Kiss, kiss.
Kiss, kiss, kiss. Kiss, 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 kiss.
Dita says, "Oh, which one, James? Maybe I can come and see then." Yeah, her birthday card was one that one of the ones that comes in a box. And I said, "Yeah, happy birthday," and I sang "Happy Birthday" to her in Welsh.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, and I sang "Happy Birthday" to her in Welsh as well.
No, let me see if I can remember that. Is it Penwynaethus Sib Queen or something?
Pen Blue with Happy CT.
Oh no, it's not. It was a long time.
You had the sort of right sounds, just not the right words.
Yeah, no,
I can see where you're going with it.
Moving along.
Yeah, moving along. Yeah. But it's one of those ones in the box. And she went, "What's this?" And I went, "Open it." She went, "What's it? Have you got me something now?" I was like, "Just open it." And she opened it as a card. I was like, "Oh." But it's a nice card.
I hope you check the envelope for cash, or the corners of the box for the cash.
I bought her clothes and stuff yesterday. What more she
want? All right. There you go.
Says second baggage class will be fine, thanks. You can be the steerage. Skipping.
Let me just get
you're the one that's acting as tail ballast. Oh, very good.
So that's with just one coat, so far. So
see, no two coats, Skiffins. No, he doesn't need two coats now. He's got one coat.
No, I'll probably put another coat on it.
No, Deet says James will be able by then to rent a C-17 and we can all tag along to Japan, right? Yeah, we could just get.
I'll talk to my contacts at Bryce Norton.
We could just get GM to fly us.
Just pop over and pick us up.
Yeah, just pop over to Harden Airport. We'll all meet you there. Timmy says, "Good day all. Forgot to say yesterday, Mike. Looking sharp, mate. Thank you, buddy." Timmy. Skiffin says, "Kaylee, happy birthday to you. La la."
Oh, I'm out of focus.
He says, "Good day, fathers to be Tim."
Yeah.
The Reverend Timothy.
The Reverend Timothy.
Dee says, "Oh, great, thanks, Tim. Now I'm seeing Mikey perform a cameo as Sharp Dressed Man." ZZ Top. I think that was before I had my beard cut, wasn't it? I've decided I'm going to grow it back. Like, I'm just going to try and grow it a bit neater than what it was. Steve says, "Progressing the 124th Typhoon slowly. This was a kit very kindly donated to me as a beneficiary of M4H."
Honestly, the work that he's done on that, it's amazing. He's put 3D printed photo etch cockpit stuff in there and all that, and it's looking absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's a lovely kit too. It goes together really well so far. He's got it to the stage now where I think the wings are on it now, and it's starting to look like a Typhoon.
Yeah. So I am paying attention. I'm just trying to send Julian the Discord link.
Yeah. So yeah, Steve only does 1/24 scale.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't do ships because he's not a masochist like what Colin is.
Julian, I've just sent you the link in Discord, mate. If you could post that in the chat for me, that'd be wonderful.
And as I said ship there, I could see the shelf above me twitching.
I just realised I can post it in if I do it through my phone. I'm an idiot. Why do I even have moderators, you know?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything.
Whoops. Turn that down. There you
go. Oh, you haven't. Oh, you bloody haven't, have you?
Oh, wow. We're on 260 videos now as well.
All right, okay. So I think that's all the engine you see on this. So
there you go. There's the Discord link.
No, it doesn't go there.
There we go. So if you want to join that, it's a lovely little community on there. They're always saying hello to each other in the morning, having a laugh and a joke. There's different channels on there that you can join in and have different discussions and things. We've even got games and music channels on there, which is pretty cool. And there's even a
oh, God's sake!
You're on a ride there with you, aren't you?
I'm having the dropsy day.
Joe says Hagrid, as long as he's driving, not in the miniskirt. Ooh, scary. Jim says, hello, Timmy. How's the Matilda coming along? It says, hey, Mikey, learn to play the bass guitar and you can get in touch with Billy Gibbons to take over from Dusty. I used to play double bass when I was in school. Played it throughout high school. I ended up in the county string orchestra. Couldn't play it now, though. But,
so you were a county swinger?
County string.
It sounded like swing to me. I think we'll go with what I said.
Bear in mind, my wife is watching.
She's asleep now.
My wife, who holds you in high esteem as well.
She's asleep now.
She's not. I just heard her laughing.
All right.
Dieter says, Julian, I'll handle the skirt part. Not to worry, mate. Ooh. GM says, ha ha ha, give me some numbers of bums on seats and I'll look at dates and costs. C-17 would be a tad slow. If I use the DC-8, it's business class and bloody quick. There we go. We can go business class. That'd be awesome. No need. And if we do it on private runways, we won't even need passports. We can smuggle ourselves around the world. That's the Discord link.
Around the world with 3 veterans.
That'd be brilliant. Just going to different airports in the UK or something. Dieter says, finish the rescue launch. Nice kit, horrible tooling. It is in my naval cabinet, sailing next to USS Fort Worth and HMS Belfast. There we go. Do you know what? I've not done one of those yet.
What's that?
A ship. I got HMS Belfast off M4H. And they've checked the kit and everything's there, right? But when you look at it more closely, the hull, instead of having a port side and a starboard side, it's got 2 port side hulls. So it looks like there's 2 parts of the hull are in there, like they should be. But unless you put them together, you don't realize that it's actually the same side.
The same side.
Yeah. So I've never built it. Tim says, well, thanks, Jim. Working on it as we speak. Duke says, good day, all you beautiful people. Hello, Duke. Skiffin says, county? I thought it was national, Gary.
National swinger. Yes, probably.
Dieter says, hello, Billy. Find you a successor for Dusty. He is still young, but has the beard going and knows to handle a bass guitar. When can he audition? And while at it, take confession. Dieter says, Airfix or Trumpeter Belfast. If it is the former, you can get replacement hull. It is the former. I just haven't bothered to get around to it because I've got that many kits anyway. Stuart says, Discord link. Yeah, what Mikey said about joining Discord. Not him being a numpty, although both might be true. I couldn't possibly comment. Polishes Halo. Thank you, Julian. Steve has also updated the CAD print to print the rescaled Mullins gun carriage from the Airfix 124th Mozzie. What a kit that is. That'd be so cool.
That was at Telford, wasn't it? Steve brought it to Telford last year.
Yeah.
Got quite a conversation starter that was.
Yeah. Gary says, "Nice try, Mikey. You will need passports. What you miss is the cattle loading through normal terminals with VIP access." Yeah, that'd be cool. That everyone would be wondering who we were.
And hot running stewardesses as well.
Yes.
And that's
Korean
not you, Dieter. That's not you.
No, just because you wear a skirt doesn't mean you're a stewardess. Did you hear that one that got arrested the other day?
No.
Somebody spiked a drink while she was on the flight, so she stripped off in the middle of the plane and started dancing.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And poor bugger, her career ruined because some idiot decided to spike her.
It's so well engineered, this kit. It just pushes together. Brilliant. Loving this.
Deet says, "Which hull half do you miss, Mikey? Left port or right starboard?" The one I'm missing is starboard. Bob says, "Bust out my 124th Mozzie one day. Winter project, maybe." Yeah.
You could do that side on a in a frame on the wall.
Yeah.
As a 3D picture, you just a thought.
Yeah.
I've been spending too much time with skiffins and coming up with wacky ideas. Colin says the wives may not be so happy. Oh, what about us all buggering off on a round the world tour?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my wife would be glad of the break.
I don't think Kaylee would be.
Look at that. I've not even glued that in.
I think she'd probably, if I went, she'd probably say, "You're not. If you go, then make sure it's a permanent tour."
Yeah. Don't come back.
Yeah. Right. Where's Spruce Sea?
We could all live in Marley's garage.
Yeah, it's big. Well, it's the same size as my house, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably bigger than mine.
Yeah. See, there we go. But yours does have a bar.
Mine does have a bar. Do you know I haven't opened the bar this year yet?
Well, so that's just silly.
A job for next week, because I think the weather's going to improve next week. A job for next week is to get the bar ready. I'm about a month behind.
Mate, it appears me to be open every day. No, am I joking? I don't drink that much.
I have the bar open every day, but only for the music.
Yeah.
When I'm sat in the garden, because I tend to, when the weather's nice, I like to sit in the garden as opposed to being sitting in the man cave. Yeah. Don't model out there, obviously, because it's impossible. But
well, this thing, I prefer to just be modeling than just sitting there doing nothing.
Well, see, what I'm going to do this year, because hopefully I'll have my tablet soon. Yeah. I'll be doing all my research and what have you out there. Oh, I went to see my mum yesterday.
Yeah. Has she fitted done the final fitting for the
coffin? No. But as I was coming out, they have in the because it's retirement apartments, they have a bookstall thing.
Yeah.
Where they just swap books and all that. Found that.
Ooh, cool.
So I picked that up.
Nice.
So that can go with my oh God, what's his name? The pub landlord, Al Murray. Al Murray's Arnhem book. So I've got 2 books on Arnhem now. So yeah. Anyway, I digress. So what's everybody else working on at the moment? We know what Steve's doing. We know what Colin's doing.
Duke is working on. I'm saying he's done the Airfix 172 Spitfire and a Hurricane in a frame, Gary. Nice.
Do you just do one half?
He does one sprue, doesn't he?
Oh, you do them on, leave them on the.
Yeah.
I've seen them done like all painted up, but on the sprue.
Yeah.
But I've also seen them done like one half.
Yeah.
But, yeah, maybe. What do you do with the other half of the model? Do the other half.
Yeah, you do another one.
Yeah, you could. You could do another one in another scheme, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Bob says, query reference Mozzie. Do I remember aftermarket main gear legs in white metal being available to prevent collapse? I don't know.
I do believe, and Steve Paul will be able to answer this. When Phil Flory did it, I think he put white metal undercarriage in it because of the risk of the plastic gear.
Well, that's one thing I'm worried about with the Harrier, because if I had a pilot with it, I could just have it on its stand, and it'd look right.
Memories of the Harrier, the 124th Harrier.
Yeah,
it's quite a chunky undercarriage on that.
Yeah,
it's all right. But the Mozzie, yeah, I think people have used white metal.
Yeah.
Undercarriage. Right, so that goes on there.
Duke says, I did them on the sprue,
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah, I do like it's a different way of doing it, isn't it? Maybe one day I'll give it a go. But you need really don't do it with a mini art kit because you can't get a picture frame big enough.
Yeah.
You basically need a starter kit, like you say.
But you'd probably need about 20 picture frames.
Yeah. I might one day have a go at trying to do, one half like that.
Okay.
Or even
glue.
You could chop the back half up and have it coming out.
You could.
So it's coming out of the.
Are you thinking up of art projects to do?
Well, you could have it coming out of the thing like that and have cloud all around it, something like that. I've seen that done before. Oh God, I'm getting a larty-farty, aren't I?
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
No, it's not.
June says, done the first coat of paint on the 172nd Hurricane. Posted pics in Discord.
Good man.
David says he's back now. Welcome back, David.
Right. Welcome back.
2 seconds. There you go. We had 22 people watching, 27 people watching before, I think. And we've only got 13 likes. What's going on, people?
Lube and subscribe. Come on.
Yeah. Jim says, at the bench now, starting to prep the Katie for painting the dark green upper surfaces.
Oh, the Kate. I thought he was doing a Katie ambulance then. He's doing the...
I've got the Katie ambulance. I got the Gecko one.
He's doing the Japanese aircraft, isn't he?
Yeah.
Kate. Yeah.
He is. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Duke says, put pictures on Discord a few weeks ago, Gary. See, you're not paying attention.
I refer the right honourable gentleman to the comment I made yesterday about my memory.
Yes. Although I don't remember what you said, but yes. Joe says, I'm working on my challenge build, the 172nd Curtis Tomahawk 2B gift starter set. Paints are very bad and gritty, but I will use since it's part of the set. Mikey, what's the end date again? I do believe it's the 16th. Or I'll check. I won't give you enough information.
I was at traffic control. We were known for giving duff information.
Yes, we know.
Yes, your flight will be on time to take you home. Don't worry about it. Send it round the long way.
There you go. So the entries need to be in by Sunday, the 15th of June.
Oh my God.
So next Sunday.
Oh, don't. Just pressure.
Oh, wait, Rose won't be back then, will he?
Oh, didn't think of that, did you?
I should have said the end of the month. Last week's
Oh
number.
dear.
I think that's probably what I meant, you know.
I'm
Think
feeling
about
an extension coming on, chaps.
Can't do an extension on the members one because it's already organised. Where are we? There we are. David says, still working on Spitfire. Airfix has said, part on pick list. Will let me know if they have it. Cool. Steve says, what time are you opening the bar next week, Gary? Could be a very good venue for an extra session for the lads and Beryl. Maybe do Beryl's induction to the Three Amigos.
Oh, you get Steve. Yeah, yes, right. Yeah, I'll let you know when it's open. But we won't be doing the induction of Beryl into the Three Amigos because my neighbours will complain about us prancing around the garden in mankinis.
I dread to think.
It is a running joke from the Telford group.
Yes, that's why I dread to think.
It's all because we do this thing with the Woodland Smallwoods Trust.
Yeah.
They have a veterans project, and we've got involved in that as well. So it's all about joking about going down the woods and dancing around campfires in mankinis and things like that. Which it's nothing to do with that whatsoever.
It's interesting. It's going to be interesting if you're getting Beryl into a mankini.
In fact, she'll kill Steve. We were making a bench for the local cricket club.
Ah, nice.
Finishing it off, it goes to tomorrow.
Well, don't let Marley do it. You'll be sitting on the backrest.
I do have pictures.
Ooh. David says also started Edward SE5A. Lovely.
That's a 2-winged thingy, isn't it?
Yes, I've got one of them. I've got the Revel one.
Yeah, but the problem with 2-winged thingies, they have. I can't say
Strokes.
it. I can't say it. I can't say it. Won't, my body will not let me say no. Stringy bits.
Yeah. Jim says, G'day, Duke. How are things in Osland? Matthew, nearly finished my ICM 135 SDKF said 2516. Then we'll be building along with my Sea Fury. Nice. I love seeing people, all the builds that people are doing. It's a lot of fun.
Well,
although sometimes it is depressing because like, oh, I wish I'd done mine like that. Or I wish I had that level of skill.
Story of my life. I say that all the time.
Gary or GM says, thank you, Mikey and Julian. Got the details. We'll try after your broadcast. Very busy here at SBS TV in North Sydney at the moment. Previous try on Discord didn't work. Yeah, interesting. Oh, it's just jumps. Bob says, current ongoing projects, Tamir Virago 148, Airfix Spitfire 132nd, Airfix Triumph Herald, being painted in the same colour as my real one. Lovely.
The Virago is what Tiff's building at the moment.
Yes, it is.
It is one of the few kits that I threw in the bin.
And now you feel really silly for doing it. Because a beginner
she's doing a really, really good job on it.
Yeah, it's one of those moments. Like I said, it's one of those moments where you're looking at people building, like, oh, I wish I could have done that.
Well, all the issues with it were mine. So, of my own making.
So, was the workman blaming his tools then at the time? Do you think?
Never blame my tool.
Skipping says, make some coffee and then starting again with some plastic. Lovely. Sounds like a good idea. Steve says, yes, there's white metal set on the carriage set. Can't remember who did mine, but the cross braces in mine were useless and I didn't fit, so I used the main struts. Second, the kit braces worked out very well. There we go. Julia says, Mikey, Gary said since the stroke his memory has gone, has been shot to shit. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the gist of it.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
TBG says, hi everyone. Hello, TBG.
TBG, how you doing, mate?
Julia says, hi.
I'll just mute a minute while the bin men come.
TBG says hi to Julian. Skiffin says, okay. Skiffin says, oh my eyes. Gary dancing in a mankini in the woods. I know. It makes you want to bleach the inside of your skull out, doesn't it? Yeah, man. TBG says, I think someone should send John a stagger wing just to confuse him. Yeah. D says, at least it would not be in a plane, James. Well, that's true. David, yes, they do. They have stringy bits. Laugh out loud. Thing is, it looks like a 1/72nd, though. It's a 1/48. Yeah. They're only small, aren't they? Duke says, Jim, it's freezing here. It was -2 degrees the other morning. That's summer, isn't it? Dita, completing my Sea Harrier, then comes a Mirage 2000D in Lafayette anniversary scheme. My USS Lexington, and then another Harrier. Lovely. David, also my M2A2 Bradley, ready to spray. Sure, I've not done modern vehicles other than Land Rovers. June says, Gowie, the twingy bits are called wigging.
I can't say it. Well, my system kicks in. It stops him from saying it. So.
James says, Fridays, Saturdays are busy transition days for us in Korea. I oversee proceedings from wherever I'm located. Do you have some...
Oh.
Home, but being...
Mikey's gone all 8-bit on us.
Hobby Time says, hi, guys.
He's back.
Yeah. GM says, Duke, yeah, I was in 6 degrees this morning in gusty winds. Hobby Time says, wigging. And Ian says, laugh my ass off, Julian. There we go. Oh, it's gone very quiet now, hasn't it?
Oh, don't the bin men know I'm live to the world? No, he's going to kick off again. He's going to kick off again. Yeah, there he goes. Back in a sec.
Julian says, hi, Hobby Time. Bob says, perhaps GM UK should try a Fokker DR1. 3 wings, but minimal wigging. Hobby Time says, hi, Julian.
Well, never say no. The only thing I'll say no to is a floaty thing.
If one of them lands on your desk, you're going to be very angry. You're going to think Marion's getting her revenge.
It'd be the Queen Marion's revenge.
Yeah. Dita says, wiggly, wiggly, Oshita, wiggly, wiggly, wing bridge.
Oshita, wiggly, wiggly thing.
Yeah. Ian says, Oshita, wigging. And June says, no, yes, care not so much, Gary. There we go.
I need a thinner one, that'll do.
David says, hope I can do a good job as John did with his. Yeah, he is good, to be fair, Gary. John.
It's your model, you do it how you want, mate. If you're happy with it, that's all.
What's important is that you've progressed, I'd say. If you've improved one skill when you've been doing the model, then that's what's important.
That must go like that.
Always compare yourself to the modeler you were yesterday, not other modelers. Gary says, what's John like with swing wings? He's all right, isn't he?
He's all right
He's
with
done
swing wing stuff. He does do a good tonker.
Yeah. That's one kit I wouldn't mind doing at some point.
I've done a 1/32 tornado. That took up too much space.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be 1/72 tornado.
I've got a 1/72. Here you go.
How big's a 1/72 one?
There is.
That's an all right size, that.
Oh, there he is. Snoopy Airways. It's the Edward kit. The wings don't swing on it because bugger, just navigation lights just dropped off. It's the Edward kit, which is basically a Reebok with a Revel kit, but it does build up to make a nice little model.
Yeah, I'll try that one day because I wouldn't mind having. Colin says, Gary, how did the radio thing go yesterday? He's just shot himself. Is that
the radio thing?
Yes. The interview with the radio.
Colin was there when I got interviewed with the radio by the radio, because in the background, when you could hear this mad possessed fool with an electric sander, that was Colin. That was on Monday. So
not the one going hello, hello, hello.
Do you mean, Colin, the interview that Mikey did with me yesterday? In which case, I thought it was all right.
Well, yeah, it's all right. It weren't bad. I've had worse guests.
So you're saying Malcolm was worse than me?
Nah.
Because you've only had Malcolm.
That sounds so wrong. Dieter says,
you've only had the Grand Fromage.
Shall we move on from this conversation? Dieter says, "Ooh, Gary should do a float plane or a flying boat. Compromise."
Well, now in my stash up there, I've got a short Sunderland.
Yeah. Or we could get you to do the Spruce Goose.
Or you could. That's a big model. Oh, that doesn't.
Yeah, especially in 148.
Pitlick.
Yeah, but you don't need to tell
you.
Deed says, Oshita, here we go again. Ian says, I can't breathe from laughing at wigging. Okay, Wadwick. Or Wian.
Throw him to ground, Centurion.
Yes. Not that we take the mick out of people with speech impediments, obviously.
No.
Jim says, Gary did probably swing forwards. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Dieter, wig that wigging it. Wiggumly wiggly. And he says, John did a flogger not so long ago. Also swing wingy wing without wigging and did the Tonka 2i. Oh dear.
Let us not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place.
Bloody stream yard. Stop jumping.
Feeling.
There you go. TVG says you can't build a Tonka without doing it on the original yellow. I want to do a grey one, grey GR4, because that's what that's the first time I actually saw a jet doing an air display, like a low-level air display and stuff. Because I remember as a kid, my dad took us to Llandudno to watch the air show, and this Tonka came in, it flew along the beach, and then just went vertical, and I could feel the ground shaking and everything. And I was like, "Wow, that's terrifying."
No, son, that's freedom.
Yeah, and it's also the jet or operational jet I got closest to, because when we were on camp with air cadets, we got to go and have a look around them and things. And then because my flight won the best flight on the camp, we got to go and play in the tornado simulators, which was fun. And when we went in there, they said, You're just gonna have to stand on the gantry and watch for now. But don't stand at the front of the gantry because there's a crew training in the simulator, and if you stand at the front, to them it'll look like you're standing on their wing, and it'll confuse them. So yeah, that's fun. GM says, Julian, at least one is upside down. Overtime 172 Rebel Tornado is a brilliant kit. There you go.
About one of the only good Revel kits. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Ian says, I got Wevel Tonka. It's very busy with lots of sprues. Yes. Dita, I'm not getting any modelling done today. This is fun. Dita says, I used to have 15 different Tonkas, the sandy one among them. 4 left, including ADV, ECR, and 2 different versions of the 70-year Dambuster livery GR4.
Yeah, my 132nd Tornado was the Welcome to Schleswig. I think that was the an ECR Tonka.
Welcome to Sedgwick.
Schleswig.
Oh, right. I was going to say, is that like Welcome to Waterwick? Welcome, Waterwick, to your new quadrant.
So we're not taking the Mickey out of speech impediments, are we?
No, not at all. Taking the Mick out of Monty Python, that's different.
Can't take the Mick out of Monty Python. It took the Mick out of everything.
Exactly. Did you notice the rabbit in the Holy Grail's Welsh as well?
It's a Welsh rabbit, is it?
Yeah. Let's put some glue on this and I'll carry on with the comments.
Yeah, come on.
Otherwise, I'm just going to be sat here holding a piece.
That's better. Be sat there holding your piece.
Yes. Very droll, Gary. Very droll.
The current Mrs. Morris is doing her weekly task of sorting out the medications.
Ah.
This is not a good time to upset her.
She's pill popping then.
She's doing my medications for the week. So don't upset her when she's doing that.
No. No, sir. And don't confuse her either. There you go. Dita says, I've read that one. Colin says, yes, sorry. No problems, old boy. Julia says, he does do a good Tonka. That's what she said. David did the Tamir 148 Tomcat back in the 80s and loved it while in Lark Hill. Isn't that prison?
No, it's on Salisbury Plain.
Lark Hill. No, it's not. Do you know what it is? It was a TV show, wasn't it? That one about the women's prison. The prison was called Lark Hill.
Yes, I don't think David was in a women's prison. I think he was on Salisbury Plain.
Yeah. Ian says, mine's 148. I'll have to get the 172nd. Hobby time. Yeah. Junior says, oh, my dad did a Sunderland. 172nd Airfix, I think.
It is. That is exactly the same one.
There we go.
That's going to take up some space.
Yeah.
That'll be a ceiling hanger.
Just make sure you get somebody else to put it up, eh? Matthew says, I've really enjoyed 2 YouTube videos this week. One was your interview with Gary. The other, the Airfix Jaguar walk around with an engineer. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you.
Bob this says, one, looks like... Sorry?
Not this one, then.
No. They're not enjoying this one.
This one's crap.
Yeah. We're just trying crap.
That's starting to look like a Sea Fury.
Well, yeah, if they can't be enjoying it, there's 17 likes and we had 27 people on before.
It's going to need some filler, that is.
Right. Oh, sorry. Bob says, looks right towards Stash Stack, Italeri Sunderland Mark III.
Yeah, I haven't done many Italeri kits. What have I done there? I think I did a Black Hawk helicopter, which was Italieri. Oh, I've got an MLRS rocket launch system up there. That's Italieri. I don't think that's been started.
Yeah. Duke says, I watched the interview after it was live. It was great. See, you're the one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Duke.
It was good fun
Bob
doing
said,
that.
Yeah. It's different. It's something different to break up the all the modeling, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's always nice to get to know the person on screen. Bob says, lost track of Midway Catalina.
Oh yeah, I've done one of them. It didn't last very long because it became a dust magnet.
Yeah.
Huge wind smell.
Dave said, I do miss all the models I build while serving and not able to bring them home from Germany. Now, that'd be a bummer. Ian says, people used to write to Ronnie Barker for doing the stuttering in open all hours and thank him for making fellow stutterers laugh at themselves. Yeah. I stutter quite a bit when I get tired. Often stressed. Yes. I started doing it yesterday. It was yesterday. It was really weird because we were shopping and then I started struggling with my speech and I thought, oh shit, here we go. I was like, what's going on now? And then after a few minutes, I started feeling really tired and I started sweating like hell. Like, I need sugar. My sugar's low. So I said, so in a roundabout way, tried to tell Kate because I couldn't really get my words out very well. So
you should always have in your pocket some jelly babies.
Well,
says the man that's never got jelly babies in his pocket.
Well, I usually carry glucose tablets in my pocket.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any. So Kay got me a sandwich and everything from the shop. And I sat in the car and ate them. Dieter says, I still have 9 in stash, including 148. I think the rest 172nd, and all of them special liveries, naturally. Of course. What else would they be? Julie says, Willie's Wadwick. I thought that was Carry On, not Monty Python. No, it was Monty Python.
That was Holy Grail.
No, it wasn't. It was Life of Brian.
Correct. It was Life of Brian. I wondered how long it would take you to spot that. Well done.
Bob says, speak now or forever. David says, no, Lark Hall. David said, was the show Prison? I can't remember. I'm trying to think. My sister used to watch it all the time.
Not Prisoner Cell Block H, was it?
No.
Oh, Porridge was Slade, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Godbar. Norman Stanley Fletcher.
Oh, for God's sake, I don't want to. Sod off, Google.
Look at this. So what exciting things have people got planned for the weekend?
It was Bad Girls.
Bad Girls. Oh, yeah, that was the one. Yeah, I think Marion used to watch that.
There you go.
Or am I thinking of Footballers' Wives? Oh, I don't know. No interest to me whatsoever.
June says, be back in a second. Kara here. No problems.
Did that, Julian?
Lark Hill Prison was also featured in V for Vendetta, where V was born. Yes, that's true. That was Lark Hill as well.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
You've never watched V for Vendetta?
No.
Mate, you've got to watch it. It's so prophetic.
What's it about?
It's basically about there was. You never watched the comics, read the comics or anything when you were a kid?
No. Oh. It obviously wasn't in the Beano or the Dandy or Commando.
Yeah, but it's basically about, it's a guy who's basically a vigilante because the government has, there was like this big disease outbreak and people vote because people wanted obviously stability and strength and stuff like that. They wanted people to enforce laws more strict and stuff, and they turned ultra-religious society. So they voted this party in, and they became a totalitarian. It's a UK totalitarian state. I can't get my words out. Totalitarian state. There we go. Where it's like religious and things like that. But they're also really, really abusive. So like they have these, they call them finger men, and they're like basically non-uniform police, and they go around at night to make sure everyone's abiding by curfew and things. Right. And he lays down this ultimatum that, or he goes on to the news and tells everyone that on bonfire night the following year, he wants everyone to join him outside the Houses of Parliament to make them aware that the British people aren't prepared to tolerate the government's behaviour anymore, and that we're going to send them the biggest message and things like that. And the way he gets their attention is he blows up the Old Bailey, but they've got like this tannoy system on all the streets, and he plays the 1812 overture. And when they're doing the cannon part of the 1812 overture, that's when the explosions go off on the Old Bailey.
Right.
The government's like trying to get it covered up and things like that. But basically they end up blowing up Parliament because it's so corrupt that they won't even stand aside and give up power or anything. It's really good. And they wear Guy Fawkes costume.
Right. No, probably won't bother with that.
Oh, it's a good film, mate.
So look, I've got a tail on my airplane.
Very good.
Yeah.
Jim says, I'm getting well behind. Was given a personal guided tour of the first prototype tornadoes up at Preston Airfield in the mid-70s. Cool.
That'd be Wharton, yeah. Or Samlesbury. Might be in Samlesbury, yeah.
Ian says, yes, Matthew, that Airfix Jaguar walk around with Corporal Jones was very good.
But they don't like it up them.
These are so... Yeah. Gary, can you build floaty things? Yes, you can, and you should do again.
Yeah, floaty aeroplanes.
Yeah. Hobby Time says, Band of Gold was a prison program. Yeah.
Oh, no.
David says Larkhill came from home of the Royal Artillery and Rangers. Ah,
yeah. Whose favourite song is "Boom, Boom, Boom."
Bob says Ian Ellison, but did you panic? GM says met Wing Commander Cliff Spink during the Gulf War in 1991. He took me up in a Tonka. I took him up in a two-seater KF-15E Slam Eagle. Been dear friends ever since. Nice.
Yeah, good bloke, Cliff Spink. Good bloke.
Yeah. Joe says, reference my challenge build. What is the trick for a very gritty old starter set of Humboldt paints? Adding more water. Yeah, that's all you can do. But to be honest, I would just use normal paints. I wouldn't bother with Umbral.
Well, no, if they're this is a starter set, so they should be acrylic. Or you could put a little bit of, if you've got any X20A, Tamiya X20A.
Yeah. Let's try and get that. Right. Ian says, I watch V for Vendetta every Halloween. It's a great film. Life is turning into that film, unfortunately. Yeah, it is. It's seriously, it's one of those films where you watch it and you think, holy shit, how was this made like 20 years ago? How did they know this was going to happen? It's really good. Tim says, V for Vendetta is brilliant. Yeah. Dieter says, V for Vendetta is a comic series of dystopian future where the UK becomes a totalitarian regime. V is a survivor of actions that led to this and became a symbol of people's freedom. Yeah.
Do you know what? I've never watched it, as I've already said. I always thought, I'd heard of it, and I always thought it was something to do with the resistance in the Second World War.
Huh. It's about sort of waking people up to the totalitarian regime and getting them to stand up. and basically he posts Guy Fawkes masks to every house, to every person in the UK. So thousands of people all march on the House of Parliament with all these dressed up as Guy Fawkes.
Mm.
It's a really good film. Duke says, this weekend I'm working on my competition diorama base. Ooh, can't wait to see it, buddy. Ian says, now I get Robert's reference after Gary's impression. There we go.
Is that like that?
TBG says, I would suggest the 1/144th Roden-Felixstowe for Gary.
God, a Felixstowe? Is that
It's an entire dockyard, isn't it?
I don't think he means of that Felixstowe.
Yeah, I went there all day as a kid. It was nice.
I've got an idea. It's a bomber, but it's a biplane.
Yeah. Dieter says, Hugo Weaving immortalized V with his uncanny ability to monologue, and funny enough, we only get to see his face in part for no more than 5 to 10 seconds when impersonating Rookwood. Rest of the movie, Where's the Mask? Yeah. The way he's done, even though he's wearing this Guy Fawkes mask for almost the entire film, you can tell his emotions just through his voice and everything. The way it's portrayed is really, really good. The acting is brilliant. Joe says, I will try the X-28. Cheers. There we go. Deed says, government should be afraid of the people, not the people of the government. Yeah, what he said, I think what he actually says was, government should fear the people, not. I can't remember now. What was it he said? People should not fear their governments. Government should fear their people. That's very true. Jim says, I think I work with a guy named Felix, though. Ha ha ha. TVG says, biplane flying boat, Gary.
So again?
He's got his vibrator out.
I've got my display sander going. A biplane flying boat.
Pump harder or something then.
A biplane flying boat. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. Dieter says, Uncle Shelfie, I shared a video link on the Bailey scene as the old Bailey scene on movie and Discord. Yeah, that is brilliant. That I love it. Dieter says, I used to be able to bring his entire V monologue. Need to practice again. Yeah. I might actually watch that this afternoon if Kay's asleep, because I've got the DVD. You can watch it with me if you want, Gary.
No thanks. I'm washing my hair.
You're just not cultured. No culture about you.
No culture whatsoever. I'm just an oik, aren't I?
Yeah, just a pleb.
Just that actually, just there's no actual place for these parts. You put these bits in if you're doing the wings
Folded.
No,
Straight.
Not extended.
Yeah.
But they seem to just drop in naturally to where they've got to be. Bizarre. Seems to be just there like that.
There you go.
Oh my God, what is she doing?
I dread to think. Dieter says, I used to be able to bring his in. Oh, I've just read that. GM says, Duke, I've been watching that rain squall racing in. Gale force winds and 4 inches of rain forecast from Melbourne to Sydney, Sunday through Tuesday. May yet cancel trip down to Expo. Oh, no.
I know John's going to Expo.
Yeah.
John and Paul
Dieter
are going.
says, yeah. Dieter says, beneath this mask is more than flesh. Beneath this mask is an idea. And ideas are bulletproof. Yes. And then he snaps Creedy's neck. That's very true. June says, you were right, Mikey. A quick search online. People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. Is a core quote from V for Vendetta. Yeah. And it's very true. Jim says, BBC, you couldn't expect me to let Felixstowe slip by without a name joke. Well, I know. It's true. Adita, it was amazing to see Portman doing an English performance and have her hair actually shaved off in the movie. She told them to do what was to be done, and they genuinely surprised her. Real terror act. Yeah.
Is that Natalie Portman?
Yeah. Because what he does is he puts Natalie Portman through what he went through to make her strong enough to deal with what was to come, and to realize that she doesn't have to be afraid all the time. And part of it was he kidnapped her in the middle of this raid, locked her in a cell so that she thought it was the authorities that had her, and he kept passing through written on toilet roll, passing through a hole in the wall, the story of this prison woman's life that he'd been through, and that's what happened to him when he was in prison. She'd done the same thing for him, and he shaved her hair and everything. And then when she came out, she went mad because she realized that it was him that had done all this to her. And he said, I only did it to make you stronger. And she walks out, and then she comes back a few months later and says, I walked into the post office and my best friend was stood in front of me, and I dropped something, and when she looked at me, she didn't even recognize me. You changed me that much. And she realized then how much stronger she was and everything.
I watched a film with Natalie Portman in the other day called The Cleaner. It's quite good. A bit like a British version of Die Hard in a way, but it was all right. It was nice to watch. Well, Natalie Portman's nice to watch anyway, but
you lecherous old man.
Yep.
Blimey.
I will not. Here we go. Much mega progress today.
Where did we get up to? People. There you go. Duke says, yes, Gary, the weather is supposed to be a tad nasty.
Oh, no.
GM says, a 20-hour round trip in torrential rain over 1,500 clicks over 2 nights isn't worth the risk. No.
No, fair play. Fair play.
Dietz says, although to see Natalie in a candy dress to make her look more like a teenage girl for the PDFs, Priest, V wanted to slay. She looked very pretty, but it was disturbing, knowing it does happen. Yes. Yeah, there's a scene where a bishop decides he wants to have his way with her while she's dressed as a child.
Disgraceful.
So, Natalie Portman and V agree that she should do it so that they can trap the bishop and get him on his own so V can take him out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bob says, GM UK, if you're a grandfather, it's okay to twinkle at young ladies. TVG says, I thought Natalie Portman was fab in Leon. Yeah. That's another really good film, Leon.
I think I've seen that. Was that about the assassin and the little girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the DVD of that as well.
Yeah, I've seen that.
There you go. Ian says Leon was her first film.
Ah.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, hello. What's going on here?
Goes that way. Just like that.
Crap.
Yeah.
Why?
I might not glue that on yet.
Oh dear.
What's the matter?
I've got an issue trying to put the top half of this wing, and it's not lining up.
Oh dear.
The question is, why?
Ian says Leon's amazing. Another of my favorite films. Yeah, it's another of mine as well. Bob says, told a friend that when he became a grandfather, nearly killed him laughing. His missus was not impressed. I imagine not.
Yes.
TVG says Gary Oldman. TVG says Gary Oldman chewing the scenery as the corrupt cop. Yeah.
Gary Oldman, absolutely brilliant in Slow Horses.
Dieter says Portman can play very difficult roles that are disturbing in their own way, as you proved with Leon and V for Vendetta and Black Swan, all showing her depth while knowing how troubling the character was. Yeah. Duke says, I don't blame you, Gary. If it's looking too bad, I might not drive 3 hours from Shepperton myself. There we go. Would you recommend, when you're doing this bit, Gary, putting the internals of the wheel bay on?
Yeah.
Would you recommend painting that before putting it on?
I painted that.
Yeah.
Before I put it in.
Yeah.
I just sprayed the whole thing chromate yellow.
Yes. I'll do that.
What I think I've done another Marley.
Oh no.
I think I've put this radiator grill in upside down, which is what is fouling.
What scheme am I doing?
So we'll do the Tamiya extra thin trick.
Scheme A. So scheme A, need a 1mm drill bit to drill out the arrows.
Yes, you pillock, you had. So
yeah,
when you
read that one.
You've probably done this. I don't know where have you put the little radiator grill thing in?
No,
in the wing. It only it only will go one way.
Yeah,
you might want to dry fit it and then put the wing on, because I put mine in upside down. And that's what fouled the.
Yeah. June says, must be honest, I wasn't fond of the cleaner as soon as I realised it was a copy of Die Hard, and in my honest opinion, not a good one. I think the backers saw Die Hard made lots of money, so copied it wanting more. Yeah, probably.
I just enjoyed it as something to watch. It was all right,
Yeah. TVG says, Mum went to watch Black Swan. She was complaining about it for weeks. I've never watched it. Dieter says Jean Reno, who played Leon, has been Portman's mentor ever since and has been very instrumental in keeping her from traumatizing herself. Yeah.
Jean Reno. Good actor.
He was brilliant in Angels and Demons.
Yes.
Is it Angels? Not Angels, Demons. Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code, yeah.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's what was causing my issues with this wing. That grill there, I put in upside down.
Oh. That was silly.
Yeah, it's called it's the professional modeler's term for it is called doing a Marley.
Yes. Dieter says penny for the guy. And Oshita bloody knives and karate gimmicks. We got guns. Know what you have are bullets and the hopes I won't be standing, because if I do, you'll all be dead before you've reloaded. Yeah, that's what V from Vendetta says.
Okay, we're still going on about that.
But the sort of asshole politician has him surrounded with the armed police officers, and he says to V, "Bloody, all you got knives and karate gimmicks. We've got guns." And V says, "No, what you have are bullets and the hope that I won't be standing when you run out. And if you do, I'll be dead by the time you'll all be dead by the time you've reloaded. Gary says, Duke, if it's possible to run the gauntlet, I would try. It's not looking good at the moment. Would love to meet up, etc. Ooh la la. Duke says, upside down chair force. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Duke says, yes, Gary, I will try to make it. It would be great to catch up with you and John. And Junior says, I think Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie are good and stick out among others in the same movies and at least trying to get authentic accents.
I'm not a massive fan of Johnny Depp, purely because he does a lot of out there type films, and I don't like those sort of out there type films.
Yeah.
As Jack Sparrow, he's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And as Edward Scissorhands, I think.
Again, another film I've never seen and won't watch. It just does not appeal to me.
You just got no culture, man. I need a 1mm drill bit. The problem is, I don't know how big 1mm is. There's my vernier gauge. There it is. Oh, come on.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah. Oh, do come on. Duke says, maybe the better looking Marley too. Paul says, okay. Have you been listening all this time, Paul?
He lurks.
Yeah. Dieter says, I did not get myself to finish watching. It was too troubling. What was? Leon or V for Vendetta? I love the ending on Leon. It's really good. Junior says, without the right accents, in my honest opinion, you're not acting. You're just reading lines in your normal voice. Very, very true. Junior says, Hagrid, the comment was withheld by YouTube StreamYard. Yes. Bob says, Gunn Carter in Equilibrium, Christian Bale and Sean Bean dies again. Yes.
It's mandatory that any film Sean Bean's in or a series, he dies.
Yeah.
He didn't last long in Game of Thrones.
Dieter says, how would a fight go between Edward Scissorhands and the Wolverine? Wolverine would win, but it would take a long time and he'd have a haircut to boot.
Oh yeah, that's what's his name? Hugh Jackman.
Yes. Colin says, Gary, it looks like you're having a bad day, mate.
No, I'm not having a bad day, buddy, at all. It's just a standard modelling day. But again, going back to, almost like we were talking yesterday, it's one of the challenges, isn't it? Something's not right. Right, how do I problem solve this? And it's all part of it. So, no, I'm not having a bad day. Don't have bad days anymore. Refuse to accept them.
Yes. Let's try that one. No, that's 1.5. I just realised 1 mil is little drill sets, isn't it? Stupid one. Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
As good as I'll be. Sorry, singing.
Don't sing.
I stopped myself.
You bloody heathen. Oh, I finally proved that Julian's a heathen this morning as well. Because they're butchering God's language.
Ongoing battle with Julian about his
heathenness.
The fact that he's from the southern part of Wales.
Yes. Julian says he meant Black Swan Mikey. Dieter says the movie was Black Swan Mikey. YouTube dumped the comments. Fair enough.
Don't think I've seen that film either.
No, I've not seen that one. Ian says, Jodie Comer, if you want a great range of accents, Isla Fisher is good too.
Isla Fisher.
Ah, well, whatever. Isla
Do you know
Fisher.
who she's married to?
Mr. Fisher.
Borat.
Oh, right. Okay. That's
My
one.
wife.
That's one. Yeah. Okay. My music teacher was called Mr. Fisher. Ooh, no, actually, that's about 0.8. Okay. So the next one must be 1 mil. Yep. Yeah, that's 1 mil. Gary says, good day, Paul, Duke, and I are watching the low pressure system charging across our pathways. TBG says, Danny Trejo, I don't know, always plays troubling characters whom he makes sure die in the movie in a justifying way as a clause. Like his character in Con Air, laugh out loud, cost him an arm too. Yeah. Junior says, with Sean Bean, now it's got to the point you watch a movie or series with him in and think, when will he die? Not if.
Yeah. I think the only one he didn't die in was Sharp.
No, there was another one. And it's where he played a paratrooper that come back off tour and found his wife with his best friend. So he just walks off and leaves her and ends up getting into crime and things and learning how to get away with murders and things. And how to get away with how to
Another
make sure
film.
get caught on CCTV and stuff like that. It's a really cool film.
Not sure myself.
He's just got no class and no taste. Dieter says, yeah, when he does not die, people are in shock.
That's another one.
Tim says, not anymore, Gary. They split.
Oh, have they?
And they've divorced.
Oh, right. Okay.
After over 20 years. There we go. Oh, that's a shame. It's always a shame when people get divorced. Julian says, Mikey referenced Sean Bean, also Age of Heroes. He dies in that too. Yes, he does.
Wasn't he in Lord of the Rings as well?
Yes, he was.
I bet he died in that.
Not sure if he died or they just didn't bring his character back. I'm not sure.
Even worse.
Yeah.
That is not a good fit. I think that's the problem.
There you go. That's one. Junior says, yep. Date says he did not die in Troy either. There we go.
Was he in Troy?
Must have been. Julian says Boromir. That was his name. Character's name in Lord of the Rings, Boromir. And yes, he did die in Lord of the Rings. He played Odysseus.
Yeah, right. So long ago since I saw that film, which was absolutely awful.
Yeah, I've not watched it. It's Brad Pitt. I've not watched it. I've never really liked any of his films. Ian says, I once met Isla Fisher after she left home and away and did panto in Blackpool. Ah. Ian says she's
I'm just trying to work out whether that's a step up or a step down.
Yeah. He said she's tiny. David says he died while trying to take the ring off Frodo. Ah. Bob says National treasure. The Bean ends up arrested for stealing the Declaration of Independence, even though he didn't.
Yes, yes. They weren't bad films either.
Yeah. Dieter says, in Lord of the Rings, Boromir, dead end of first movie. In Game of Thrones, beheaded end of season 1. In Equilibrium, shot early in movie by Bale, and so on.
Yeah.
Drew says, if you read the books, you knew Boromir died and when. So you knew Sean Bean's time was limited.
That's why he does all them adverts for O2.
Yeah. Deet says, I think in Percy Jackson, he played a god and didn't die either. There we go.
God, I don't even know what you're talking about now.
That's why in the game Sean Bean Quest is the whole aim of the game is to get at least one of your Sean Beans to survive to the end of the game. Because I actually got the Goblin Quest book, and it's got 5 different games in, including Goblin Quest, and one of them is Sean Bean Quest, where you have to make 5 Sean Beans and get at least one of them to survive to the end of the movie.
I don't know whether that'll go on there. Will that go on there? No. Oh, bugger!
It's always sounded like a fun game to me.
Well, that clicked in place then.
1 mil, 1 mil.
Will that go on there?
Oh, have you drilled little holes out on the wing?
Yeah. I have indeedly.
Deedly doodly.
Indeedly mould in the utmost.
Oops.
I'm not sure about this. Not entirely sure about. Oh, you nasty thing. That's all come out now. Bugger. Oh!
What is going on with you today?
I'm trying to use these.
Yeah.
To clamp this wing in place because it's a bit of a dodgy fit.
Yeah.
On top of this wing in place. And because it's so smooth, the wing, because the Airfix have done such a good job on it, these are just not biting. So,
have you ever thought of just using smear tape to hold the edges together?
It's smear tape stretches.
True.
So, I'm just going to have to think of some.
Have you not got some foam sheeting you can put over
it? Sheet of foam. I have got some somewhere.
Dieter says, as Boromir, he was slain by big black arrows but lived on to gain forgiveness in Aragorn. There we go. Dieter says, Sean Bean Quest, oh dear. Junior says, in GoldenEye, he was 006 and died at least sort of twice. That's a record for Sean Bean.
Yeah, he had that awful line in that film where he said, for England, James, in a good Sheffield accent.
Yeah. Tim says, I tell you what, not going to be painting another counter camo scheme. It's tedious.
When I did my Matilda, I did the counter scheme and I enjoyed that.
David says, have you not tried clothes pegs? He doesn't wash his clothes, mate.
Just all the clothes pegs are currently in use.
He wouldn't know where to find them.
I hung the washing out this morning. How very dare you?
We just put it on the maiden and then just shove it in the drawer.
While Marion was busy walking young Benjamin.
Oops. Yeah, because I don't really wear shirts much other than me plaid shirts. And everything just sort of, the creases fall out after 5 minutes anyway. After 5 minutes of wearing them, so I don't worry too much about it.
It's going to be very difficult to glue.
In fact, I don't even think I own a proper shirt anymore.
I think this wing is slightly warped.
Ew. I want to find out what that film is. I was thinking about.
You want good films. You want films like Guns of Navarone, Zulu, Battle of Britain, A Bridge Too Far. Proper good films, those are.
Outlaw. That's it. The film's called Outlaw, and he plays a former paratrooper who returns to Britain and finds it overrun with crime. He then joins a group of people who take matters into their own hands, forming an outlaw posse to combat the perceived lack of justice in the system. The film explores themes of vigilantism and societal corruption, with Bean's character at the forefront of the group, seeking to enforce their own form of justice.
Right.
Yeah. And he doesn't die in it.
Mm.
Joe says, hang out at the laundry, even the mankini, Gary. It's all right. When he hangs the mankini online, it just looks like a piece of green string.
The mankini is in the ironing pile. Because I shall have to wear it to Cosford on Monday.
Yeah.
You can just see Steve Paul spitting coffee all over whatever he's doing.
Just don't forget the tit tape. Julie
I
said,
don't mind a bit of chafage.
in GoldenEye, Bean's character said to Bond, why can't he just be a good boy and die? And I thought, at least his character sees the end titles. Bob says, I used to get told off for borrowing clothes pegs, bought my own, and they were borrowed. Now an orphan, so don't care.
I used to get told off for borrowing clothes pegs, but they normally have ladies' underwear attached to them.
Ooh la la. Dieter says, yeah, Julian, tongue-in-cheek, because that is what the characters usually suffer. Joe says, glad I'm across the pond. Joe says, reference war films, the original Dunkirk, John Mills, much, much better narrative than the 2016 one.
Exactly. A good point. And also the 1970s Midway film is much better than the rubbish they put out a few years ago.
Yeah. Oops. Oopa. Oh, there's another. Gosh darn it. There's another hole to drill.
So I have experienced a few fit issues with these top pieces of these wings. Now, that side was my fault, and I've corrected that. This side, it's not glued yet. I've just taped it in place at the moment.
Yeah.
Seems to have gone in, but something was definitely fouling the top. Something in here was fouling, but it seems to have, with a bit of jiggery pokery, I seem to have got it
into jiggery pokery, eh?
Yes.
I say, old boy.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a bit of glue around the edges and see what happens.
Dieter says, fun fact, the antenna that crushed 006 actually crashed recently. Some dopes checked on Sean Bean if he was still alive and were allegedly disappointed he was. There we go.
I did like him in Sharp. I thought his character was good in Sharp.
I like Sharp. I love Sharp. Bob says, except the 70s Midway ripped footage from Tora 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 and had Corsairs fighting. Naughty.
Yeah, but it didn't have this idiotic blooming. I've got to be careful what I say. You know, where the guy early on in the film, where the guy's coming back from, I think it's a training flight, and he cuts the engine, drops the flaps and all that, and then disappears off the back of the aircraft carrier, and then suddenly pulls up and lands and all that rubbish. Oh,
No,
come on.
they do actually do that, don't they? Sometimes,
Don't be
like a
giving
stall
that
landing.
rubbish.
No, they do. Jets do it, I think.
It's like that bloody line from Top Gun. I'll hit the brakes and fly right by.
It's like a stall landing or something.
I just thought the
11.
original film, better actors.
I like watching the old World War II films on YouTube. In fact, I have some in a playlist on my. If you look on the channel page under playlists, one of the playlists is movies, and it's all old films.
The Cruel Sea. Don't make them like that anymore.
No. Julian says, personally, I think the technology used to be used judiciously to support the story, and there was better narrative. Now technology is the story, and the narrative is lousy. Yeah, I think writers have got lazy now, haven't they?
Well, when
Dieter
they're not
says,
striking.
yeah, this thing, and Dieter says 30 seconds over Tokyo, the Doolittle raid. Parts of the movie are reused in the original Midway movie, built to B-25 and had to be the ruptured duck. Movie explained why. There we go. Bob says, didn't Heston's crash happen in a jet too?
I don't think so.
GM says, it's all Hollywood. You need a constant speed until touchdown. There you go. Bob says, Cruel Sea, where seagulls fly backwards.
Snorkers. Yes, so much progress today. Much progress. Very pleased. There's going to be a little bit of tidying up to do. And we'll see how these wings go. Not totally convinced yet.
Oh dear.
But not a lot more I can do on that at the moment.
There you go. So what I hear you saying is, I've now got to catch up to where you are. Off stream.
Yeah, but we'll still be chasing John, won't we?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we might not be, because he forgot to take the Sea Fury with him, didn't he?
That's true. You're right. Most of these parts do just sort of fall into place, don't they?
Yeah. The only little bit of tribulation that I've had is with that attaching the top wing to the bottom.
Yeah.
I say one side was my fault. The others, jury's still out on that at the moment.
Yeah. Dee says Heston's crash was actual footage of a Hellcat crash while he was in an SBD Dauntless.
Yeah.
And he says, same happened with the jet crash and Hunt for Red October. Was also an actual crash by Panther F9F, not a Tomcat.
Yeah.
There we go. Drew says, I think the issue is Dollarwood. Financial backers want money, so that remake badly would what made more money. Unique, untested ideas don't get a look in. Yeah. Bob says, think Rebel 172nd Corvette. Shall I do it as the Compass Rose?
Ooh.
And Dee says, why not?
Yeah, the Compass Rose.
Compass
Rose. The Compass Rose, was that from the Cruel Sea, or was that In Which We Serve?
I don't know.
Dieter
says, I would do her as a Belgian crude one. Forgot the name, but it was Snowberry Class 2. There you go. Ian says, great chat today about film, guys. I requested Gary gives V a chance. Stephen Fry's in it. He is.
Oh my God.
He is. He plays a TV presenter.
Okay.
That's
Well,
a secretly, because it's gone like ultra Christian sort of society and the laws and everything. He's obviously he's closet homosexual, but he also has like a copy of the Quran and things like that he's got hidden away in his house and things. But he never actually says that he's homosexual. He shows her the Quran, and she goes, "Oh my God! If they find out you've got this, they'd lock you up." And he says, "Oh, the Quran's the least of my. If they raid this house, the Quran's the last thing I need to worry about." That one. Bob says, Krill Sea Corvette was Compass Rose. Even in the book, cover has fallen off mine. There you go. And Gary says, cheers, guys. You're welcome.
Cheers, Gary.
June says, Compass Rose was a Corvette in which we serve.
In which we serve. That was No Coward, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yes, it was No Coward.
We've got 3 minutes to go. There we go. Dieter says, Stephen Fry also does a hilarious sketch reminding of Benny Hill slapstick, right down to the Yakety sax theme playing. Yeah. He does.
Oh, right.
Taking a mick out of the Prime Minister.
Yes.
And his inability to catch V.
Okay.
Cool. Right. Okay. So I've achieved very little. I've put 2 bits on the wing and put them bits together. So, what have you achieved, Gary?
Oh! Apologise.
Even the camera's struggling to focus.
I'm not surprised. Okay, so the frontage is done.
Yep.
And nicely done. The back end is all I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a bit of tape. Yeah, done. And I've got the wings, because my wings will be extended, not folded. I've got them on. I'm not sure about the side that's taped yet. I'm going to wait and see with that. But everything has fitted lovely apart from that wing.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Excellent.
Good.
Dieter says, High Chancellor Adam Sutler, played by John Hurt. Yeah. Cool.
So what did you do, Mike?
You look so tiny there.
What have you done?
Me? Put a couple of bits on that. And put a bit on that. The rest of the time I've been reading the chat.
That's why we need modelling back.
Yeah. June says, Compass Rose was a Corvette in both films, so Robert was right too.
Oh, right. Interesting. Oh, yeah. God, Benji's going to kick off.
This was a fun session, superbly done, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm knackered now.
Yeah. I'll spend some time with your wife on her birthday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if she's asleep, I'll be modelling, but yeah. I may watch V for Vendetta with a coffee. Dieter says, have a nice weekend and enjoy V for Vendetta. We'll watch it tomorrow. Got a metal case DVD. Nice. Yeah, you should watch it, Gary. You'd actually enjoy it. David says, have a good weekend all and hope to see you in Barry, Julian.
Yeah, have a good weekend, David.
That sounds so wrong.
We're going down to Barry to see Nessa.
No, look at what he's put. I hope to see you in Barry.
Only you.
Jim says, great stream. Really enjoyed it, guys. Good, I'm glad. Don't forget to lube and subscribe. That makes it even worse.
Can we just move on quickly before we get taken down by YouTube?
Yeah. Better take that comment off. Hang on. There we go. Right. Yeah. Do you want to say goodbye then, Gary?
Goodbye then, Gary.
Cool vow, everyone. See you on Monday, 12 o'clock.
See you on Monday. Take it easy. Have a good weekend.
Right. Cool vow.
Oh, I won't be on Monday because I'm